Creating princess name centerpiece and a sleeping baby centerpiece. This is all for a baby shower. So let's just go ahead and start. So we're on Design Space, and we're going to go ahead and click on your left hand side. We're going to click on images, and we're going to type in the box what we're looking for. I'm going to type in sleeping baby. This baby, I bought it on Etsy, and I will post the link on the description. Next, I'm going to type in ballerina, and what else I needed from this file. I think it was a carriage. I think it's named carriage. We'll look for it. Once you do that, you click on enter, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and go to filter. I'm gonna click on uploaded. I'm gonna click on my images and purchased. And let's go ahead. This is the baby I'm looking for. I'm going to click on the image, and you'll see it right here on the bottom of the screen. If by mistake you click on several images and you realize you're not going to use them, just go back here on the bottom of your screen and place the cursor on the image and just click on the red X, and it will remove it. Now let's go ahead and continue. It's something similar to this one. And right here. This is the one I need. And the next one, it was a ballerina dress, but I think it's in the same, let me click on here. I think it's this one, in this cartridge, on the Happily Ever After, and I think it's here. It must be here because this is similar to the one I'm looking for. I need this one. It's a wand as well. I apologize. I need the wand. Okay, right here, guys. Click on it, and I also forgot the crown. This is the crown I'm looking for as well. And that'll be it. Once you're satisfied with all the images you're about to use, you'll see them right here in the bottom of the screen. We go ahead and insert images. Now let's start with the baby. The sleeping baby, I'm making the sleeping baby. Width is 4 and height is 6. We change the size and we lock it. And just go ahead and move it to the side. The crown will be gold, but I don't need the back part of the crown, so I'll just be using the shadow. So let's go ahead and bring in the shadow. Click on group, and I'm going to delete the ones I'm not using. Well, I'm just going to delete. Yeah, I'll delete this because this has a little line on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one. Let's just go ahead and change the color just for reference. That way you'll know what color, what cardstock you'll be sticking onto your mat. I'm just going to go ahead and change it. Try to get like a yellowish, not a yellowish, a gold, because the crown will be gold. And let's size it, and it will be 1.5 by 1.5. Set it aside. Okay, now let me just go ahead and adjust the measurement of the crown. It's a 2 by 2. And then we lock it. Now for the dress, we click on the dress, we unlock, and the dress will be a 3 by 3. And let's go ahead and lock it. Now let's go ahead and change the colors of the dress, which will be gold and pink. So you can go ahead. Let me just go ahead and eliminate. Not eliminate. Let's go ahead and bring in our shadow. Now the shadow will be in gold. Let's click on here and get the gold. Just for you, like I said, reference for when you're going to cut, you'll know what the colored cardstock you'll be using. Now, I went here because it's kind of difficult to click on the image when it's all layered. So what I do is go on my left-hand side, click on the layer you want to change the color. You go in between line type and fill, click on the box, and then you choose your color. We go back, same technique, click on the blue dress, Go in between line type and fill, click on the blue box, and that will be in pink. The upper part of the dress will be, let me see if I want to do it a purple. Will that look nice? Or dark purple? No. Let's put it in gold. No, because the back is gold. I'm going to do it a light purple. And then this pink, I'm going to change it into a lighter pink. Let's see what happens. This looks much better with that lighter pink. Let me see. This looks better, a lighter pink. Okay, make sure your measurements are the same. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. And let's do it again in 3 by 3. The measurement, the size went up because of the shadow. Okay, and we lock it. Set it aside. Sorry guys, that's my little one. Let's go ahead with the wand. With the wand, I will eliminate some layers that I will not be using. Click on the image, go on your right hand side, ungroup. We're going to click on this black shadow to bring it down to your canvas. Click on that eye, and then we go ahead and delete. Click on this other layer and delete. And the wand will be gold. Click on the image, click on the box in between line type and fill, and change color. The wand will be a 2 by 3. And we lock it. We set it aside. Let's go ahead and take our carriage. Now for the carriage, I need some circles in these on for the wheels and right here in the pumpkin right here. I think it's a pumpkin, a wheel. Well, okay, let's go ahead and size it first. The carriage will be a 3 by 3. Click on the image, unlock. The width 3 and the height is 3, and we lock it. Let's bring in some shapes. I'm going to bring in 3 shapes. Okay, let's go ahead and change the color of the carriage, which will be in pink. Click on the image again, same technique, and let's change the color. Now, the circles will be in gold. Click on this image. You know what? I'm going to delete these. Sorry, guys. And let's change it to gold. And now we can go ahead and duplicate this one. That way we don't have to go on the back and forth. Let's size those circles, and we're going to put them right here. And let's get the other one. And let's get the middle one. A little bit bigger. Okay, now that we did that, we go ahead and highlight the entire image and group it. Grouping it is just for you to move it all around your canvas. When you click on to make it, it'll cut piece by piece. It will not cut it grouped together, so don't worry about that. Now let's go ahead and get the letters for the box centerpiece. Let's go ahead and click on text, and her name will be Zola, Z-O-L-A. Once you do that, we're going to go ahead and click on the name, go to font, and you can use any font of your preference. I'm using the Cricut alphabet. You click on your font, and then with the name clicked, you go ahead on your right hand side, click ungroup, and then we're going to go ahead and eliminate the letters that we won't be using that have a shadow, which is the Z. Unclick the I, let's move it, and we don't need this one, the shadow, and delete. Ungroup again, and we're going to size all these letters 1.5 by 1.5. We're going to go ahead and do that real quick. And now we're going to go ahead to the next one and size it. Now that we're done with the name, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the entire name, and for our reference, the letters will be in gold. Now, before you click on Make It, we're going to go ahead and select the machine you'll be using. There'll be a drop down right here. You select your machine, which is, I'm using the Explorer. Once you do that, you click on Make It. On this side, you'll see your print and cut, which is the sleeping baby, and then you'll see the rest of your images, which will be just a cut. You can change your material size, which is your cardstock or your glittered cardstock. Now I'm using the 12 by 12 glittered, so that remains the same. This one I'm just going to go ahead and change it to a 4 by 6, and this one I'm going to change it to a 4 by 6. No, not a 4 by 6, a 6 by 6. Not even a 6 by 6. Let's do 8.5 by 11. Wait, I can do a 6 by 6 because this one will fit. Let's try and fit this one on a 6 by 6. Click on the image, click on the 3 little dots, move to another mat, and place it on that second pink mat. And let's go ahead. Yes, it will fit on a 6 by 6. And this one you can leave a 4 by 6. Once you do that, we're going to go ahead and click on Continue. It'll recognize the machine you'll be using. While it does that, let's go over the paper and type of cardstock I'll be using. For the print and cut, I'll be using 100-pound white cardstock. For the gold images and the letters, I'll be using 65-pound glittered cardstock, which does not shed. For the rest of the image, I'll be using as well 65-pound colored cardstock. I will place the link for all these papers, all these cardstock in the description. For the sleeping baby, I'm going to go ahead and send to printer. And I will need 2 copies because it's 2 centerpieces. So what I do is click on 2 copies. Add bleed will stay on. And the explanation for the add bleed, you click on this eye. When that prints, you go ahead and stick it to your mat. You're going to adjust your dial to cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and print. Once that prints, you go ahead and stick your glittered cardstock onto your mat. And what I do, because this is even though it's 65-pound, but it's glittered, so it's thicker than the normal 65 colored cardstock. So what I do is change my dial to poster board. You load your mat to your machine, and then you go ahead and cut. And for these two, what I do, take my colored purple cardstock, stick it onto the mat, load it to the machine, and it will cut. Next, once that's finished, clean your mat, stick your pink colored cardstock onto your mat, and we're going to go ahead and cut. Let me just go ahead and show you briefly, well, that prints and cuts, what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the gold, pink, and purple cardstock that I'm using. Just want to show you guys the difference. Okay, now that we have that, what I like to do is cut and print every single one. Then I go back to whatever image I need to mirror because I'm making the centerpieces double-sided. I go back to it, click on edit, click on mirror, click on done, and then print, send to printer, and then I select my copies, and print. Once that prints, I go ahead again, stick it onto the mat, load it to the machine, change my dial to cardstock because I was using the glittered cardstock, change it back to cardstock, load it to your machine, and cut. Once you do that, I'll see you guys back at the table so we can start assembling. Okay, now that we're back at the table, let me show you what we have. We have the letter cutouts right here. Then we have the crown, the carriage with the circles. We have the wand, the dress, and these are the cutouts for the box centerpieces. Let's go ahead and set that aside. We have two 4-inch lollipop sticks. We have our 2x2 boxes. We have them in light pink and dark purple. I already went ahead and sealed them. They come flat, and what I do is go ahead and open them. And then I add hot glue inside, and I go ahead and seal it. Now for the base, I already had painted the bases to save some time. The bases that I use are 3x5. They come just like this. And I go ahead and paint first the bottom. I no longer add felt to the bottom. So what I do is I paint the bottom and then I paint the top. 2 coats. I use the Nicole's acrylic paint. Okay, now I'm going to take my drill, and what I'm going to do, I have my letters and I have my bases. So first let's take the Z. I'm just going to drill a hole right in the middle, so that way I can, instead of gluing on the letter, I can just go ahead and stick the letter on the base with the small dowel rod. So your bit has to be the same diameter as the dowel rod that you're using. Now let's go ahead and let's do this one in the middle. Let's go ahead and see, the dowel rod goes in with no problem. So then we're going to go ahead and drill on the letter. Let's measure first, and then we can go ahead and drill. I just like to make a little, and let's go ahead and mark it so we'll know where we're going to drill. And okay, and we go ahead. That fits with no issues. Leave it just like that. And we go ahead and take our little handy dandy tool so we can cut the dowel rod. Now start cutting little by little and then measure. I already have, you can save those for the next letter. Let's see if this one fits with no issues, which it does. That's your first letter. Now I'm going to do the same technique for all these. Okay, we're done with the drilling. Now let's start painting. I have the pink acrylic paint, and let's start with the Z. I'm just going to go ahead and give it one coat and one coat, set it aside, and same technique with the other letters. Okay, now that the letters are dried, okay, let me show you real quick. The Z, the O, the L, and the A. Set those aside, and let's start assembling the cutouts for the letters. Let me grab first for the Z. What I did was, after I painted them, if there's the dowel rod, you just go ahead and you can twist it on for each one of them. Now let's go ahead and grab the cutout. The first cutout, it's the dress. It has 3 parts. Go ahead and let's grab first this part. Just glue it on and glue this part on as well. Let's go ahead and grab some bling. I'm just going to go ahead and place it right across the waist. And maybe we'll just need like maybe 2 of them. 2 or 3 of them will be fine. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab the crown. I'm just going to put bling all over the crown. Okay, now we're done with the Z. Let's go ahead and place it on the dowel rod. And let me see if you can take it just like that. And let's glue on the dress, which will be on this corner. And then you can go ahead and lift it on the bottom. So you can place your glue. So you'll know where to glue the dress onto the letter. And let's go ahead and place the crown a little bit sideways right here on the top. That aside, and let's get the O. And for the O, we are gluing on the wand, which will be on the left hand side, a little bit sideways. But before we glue it onto the letter, I'm just going to glue a nice bling And then next we have the L, which we are going to glue on the carriage. Now for the carriage, it has these gold glittered circles, which will be glued on to the actual carriage right in the middle. Just center it and start gluing on your circles. And then let's go ahead and place it right here on the left hand side. And I'm going to first glue the middle part, and then we do the bottom part. And then let's go ahead and take the bottom part and we glue it on. And then this part right here, just a little dab of glue right here on the corner. Okay, that is great. The paint, I forgot to show you guys, is all on double-sided paint, and then on the bottom as well. And now I'm going to also place 3 blings right here. Let's do that real quick. Let's set that aside. And for the A, I'm going to go ahead and add these 2 flowers right here on the bottom. Okay. Right here. Okay, and we are done with the letters. Let me go ahead and, so you guys can see them. That's the L and the A, and then the O and the Z. The name is Zola. Let's start with the box centerpiece. Now for the box centerpiece, like I mentioned at the beginning, we already have the base, and let's go ahead and start with the bottom box. I already sealed the boxes. Just add a dab of glue on the lid and close it. And the bottom one is pink. Add a generous amount of glue. And we place it in the middle. Now we're leaving a 4th box without sealing, and you grab, or you can make it next with the X-Acto knife. Place it here and punch. After you do that, next I take the side pieces and I'll cut half of it with the scissors. That way when I close it, I have no issues with the foam. Okay, so this is the floral foam, and I'll just cut it a small little piece. Add the glue all around and place it right there in the middle of the hole. Okay, once you do that, we're going to go ahead and grab a stick and just punch a little hole. That way your centerpiece will go through with no issues. Once you do that, we're going to go ahead and glue the inside and close. Add glue, sorry, and then close. Okay, once you do that, bring the other piece and let's glue it on top. Okay, once that is dry, I'm going to bring in my letters. Okay, with the letters, I'm going to start from the top as I go down, spelling the name Zola. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and flip it around and place the rest of the letters. Same technique. Okay, we have that part done. And now let's go ahead and bring in the actual image, the cutout for the top, which is the two sleeping babies, and it's mirrored, which is this part. We're going to go ahead and grab your 4-inch lollipop stick, and you just go ahead and cut it in half. And that half, you glue it on to the bottom part of the cutout so we can stick it right inside that box. And that will go in halfway as well. And we glue on the back part. Let me see if I can adjust my camera so you guys can see it. Okay, let's see if you can see it better, just like this. And might add something else here. I'm not sure if I want to add a flower or... So those are your letters and your centerpieces. There's 2 of the centerpieces. And this one, I'll post a picture right at the end of the video. And wait for the second part. And it's for the goodie bags and the Hershey bar wrappers. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. And I hope everyone has a lovely day. And as usual, happy crafting.